I had one interest, and that was winning. No matter what that took, that was my main concern, and I would do anything that I could to win.
He's, to me, the Pete Rose of tennis. I mean, the guy tried harder than I'd ever seen anyone try.
There's a fine line that you try not to cross. I crossed that. Sometimes too many times, certainly too many times, but that was me. My idea is that I was out there to play good tennis, you know, and hopefully, whether you like me or you don't, you're there to see the tennis. You know, come on, root against me, that's okay, but come, be a part of it, you get into it.
Jimmy Connors was born in East St. Louis, Illinois in September 1952. He began playing under the guidance of his first coach, his mother, Gloria.
I was, you know, back then from a middle-class family, and, you know, from parents that weren't afraid to do what they had to do to try to make it possible for me to play the game, which is what I wanted to do. It goes way back to my mother and grandmother taking me out on a court when I could barely hold a racket and put a racket in my hand and throw balls to me. In between my mom teaching some lessons.
When he was growing up, there definitely was a key that I tried to make Jimmy realize, that when he was on a court and he played a match, to make a business out of it.
She just happened to be a teacher of tennis and was able to give that to her kids. And from my standpoint, just happened to take to it and become pretty darn good at it. I needed to be around a male influence and a man's mind towards the man's game.
Jimmy moved to Los Angeles, where he was coached by Pancho Segura.
He was always known for his mind and the way he approached the game and what was the important situations, how to play the important points.
For a time in the mid-1970s, Connors dated top women's player Chris Evert. He won his first Grand Slam title at the Australian Open in 1974.
At Wimbledon, Connors won the first two sets 6-1, 6-1, and the third set 6-4.
I think that's the best I've ever played in my life, Tony. I started playing, I thought at Wimbledon when I played Ken in the final that I don't think I could have reached that peak again, but today I came out feeling just like I did over Wimbledon and returned, I think, the best I've ever returned in my life. And just after the first game, I played a good first game and just kept on from that point. I think I served and volleyed more this time than I did in Wimbledon. I stayed back, and I knew Ken at Wimbledon had a long five-setter the day before with Stan Smith, and I thought he would be a little more tired at Wimbledon than he was here. But I served and volleyed more here, but I mixed it up, I think, the best I have. I stayed back, I went in, and I did a little bit of everything.
In the late 1970s, Connors lost 3 straight years at Wimbledon to Bjorn Borg and won only 1 Grand Slam title over a 6-year period. It was around this time he met Patty Maguire.
I came back from getting pounded in Wimbledon by Borg, and I went out to a club here that a mutual friend owned, and she was sitting there. And the rest is history. Married her 3 months later.
Connors' 1 Grand Slam title in this period was a straight sets win over Borg in the 1978 US Open final.
I'm used to winning Grand Slams and being in the finals of the Grand Slams, and that's really where, you know, your reputation is made. But from my standpoint, so I was not at the top of my game, and from everybody else's standpoint, I was washed up.
Connors returned to form at Wimbledon 1982, where he faced John McEnroe.
So we butted heads in every way, including attitude, which made the excitement around the tennis just that much better.
It wasn't that difficult to not give up because you wanted to strangle the guy anyway. I'm sure he wanted to strangle me as well.
It was the most important victory at that time because I came off of 3 years of little respect. And to grind out a match against the best player in the world on his best surface at the time was very important for my career.
The 1983 US Open was Connor's last Grand Slam title. There was a lot of talk in the media at Wimbledon 1986 about McEnroe not playing the event that year, and there was speculation about how long Connors, by now almost 34, would continue to play for.
You're so quick to jump on him and call him every name in the book, and then when he doesn't come, you're yeah, of course you do. Now are you going to do the same if I don't come back here next year and anymore? You're going to say, geez, I wish Connors was coming back here. Why don't you just let me make my own decision on whether I'm going to play or not going to play? And don't you worry about that. That's not your worry, whether I'm going to play any more tennis or not, or I'm going to play Wimbledon anymore or not. It's not your worry. It's my worry. You know, so whether you know right now or you know 8 months from now or you never know is no concern of yours. It's only my concern, what I'm going to do with my tennis.
After losing to Andre Agassi in the 1988 US Open, Connors found out that Agassi had predicted a straight sets win.
And start predicting, like you said he did, I mean, that can make a lot of guys feel a little bit strange towards you, because there will always be a next time. That's the beautiful thing about this game. I said it for 20 years, that, you know, lose today, but I will play you tomorrow. And I followed guys to the end of the earth to play him again, but I don't think I'm going to follow him. And I play because I love the game now. And I enjoy the grind, and I enjoy being out there in the trenches grinding it out with kids that could be my children.
At the 1991 US Open, 39-year-old Connors thrilled the New York fans with his legendary run to the semis, including his epic last 16 win against Aaron Krickstein.
The highs and the lows and everything that happened in that match to me, I could not function. I mean, I went and walked around after that match. I went and walked around the grandstand court for an hour just to try to regain my sense of stability because I was so worn out.
Jimmy just went on a run, and no one could believe it. I didn't want to be the one who beat him. I knew how great it was for tennis. I knew how magical it was to be a tennis player in New York as Jimmy was having a run.
Certain places are able to really give you a lift and give you some certain excitement. This is the place for me.
Incredible excitement that was around it was, it's what I spent my whole career trying to achieve, and it took me to the end of it to get it, and it was worth it.
Connors played his final event at the 1992 US Open as he turned 40. He played occasionally on the tour until 1996 when he was 43, by which time he had set up the senior tour.
Jimmy, over the years, has probably got a better record in tennis, over 100 victories in tournaments, which is sensational. The man who never says die and never gives up and will use everything in the book to try to win.
Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.